Hello, Noah here, and welcome to part 28 of my Contempt of Court Let's Play. Last time, we realized that Brisbane died, Renwick is the defendant, and, yeah, Brisbane got beat to death, so, I'm still in disbelief that that's happened, and I actually really liked his character. I really did like Brisbane. Like, he was kind of annoying in the first case, and he was kind of whatever in the second case, but the third case, I really liked how visceral he was during that. And I just feel horrible that he's dead now. It's a very weird feeling, because, like, I don't know. Whatever. Sorry. Okay. No. Nope. What about snow? No. Okay. Okay, evidence. The card? Well, it doesn't look like he's gonna talk, so I'll just be going now. Nope. Hey, how's it going? The suspect of the murder is Detective Smith? Aye, now there's a thing. I always knew that temper of his was gonna land him in prison someday, but I never thought he'd be capable of this sort of brutality. Have you spoken to him yet, then? I tried, but he doesn't want to part with too much information, especially with me. It's understandable, I guess, seeing as how I'm not exactly on the case. But not so understandable regarding why he doesn't want me anywhere near him. Well, technically you aren't. Not yet, anyway. It's up to you. Renwick hasn't been able to get himself a lawyer yet. I mean, you said yourself that you wanted to get to the bottom of this, seeing as how it was Brisbane and all. But it's like I said before. There's a point of no return, for you at least. If you decide to come with me to question Renwick, you'll be in too deep to back out. How do you figure? We can't spare the time to be faffing about trying to find another lawyer for him. So, decision time. Are you in, or are you out? This is going to be like a Telltale Games decision. Snow will remember that. And no matter what I choose, I'm going to be in this in this game anyways. You know what? Walking Dead 2 spoilers. I'm still mad that Luke died. On the ice lake, Telltale Games say that there's consequences to your action, but no matter what the fuck you do, he always dies. It's so annoying. Anyway. That's actually not a decision I can make so easily on the spot. To be honest, I've had my suspicions about Detective Smith right from the get-go. For a start, where I first met him, in my office when I'd gone out for lunch. And I'm astonishingly sure that I did lock up before leaving. And then, of course, there was his odd behavior throughout the investigations. His tendency to stare into space and idly scribble on his notepad. His overly casual manner towards the murders as if he didn't really care. If I decide to follow this case through, it would mean I would have to trust Detective Smith. And after witnessing his odd behavior, that's easier said than done. If only the victim wasn't Brisbane, then this decision would be a whole lot easier. So what do you say, Phoenix? You coming with me or not? Lead the way, Detective. I don't even get the choice. Alright then, I shall do. Let's see if we can shake that tree for more apples. Apples of information, that is. Just to clarify, that was only a metaphor. I don't mean real apples. And Renwick's not really a tree either. He has the personality of one, but he isn't one. Yeah, I get it. Very clever. Okay, off we go. You again? I thought I told you to clear off. What part of that didn't you understand? Renwick, come on, Phoenix is on the case now. He wants you to tell him everything you can. Robert, I should have known you'd be here too. Well, duh. It was Brisbane who got snuffed. Who better to uncover his tragic end than me and Phoenix here, right, mate? Yeah, what he said. So that's the way it's gonna be, huh? Okay, I give in. I'll tell you what I can. But don't let the prosecutor catch on. He'll be pretty miffed if he found out. Of course, since Brisbane is the victim, there will be another prosecutor on this case. Anyway, that talk with Snow seems to have set him straight. It's time for him to talk. What if Volper is the prosecutor? That'd be kind of funny. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that a death row convict decided to get back to the prosecutor's bench. Okay, sorry, I was eating. Is this seriously the competence of the police force nowadays? This is all a huge joke! Well, the police must have had a reason to suspect you. Any ideas as to why you were arrested? I don't know. Maybe the good detective here can explain this for us. Don't look at me, mate. I wasn't his arresting officer. But if you're on about proof of Renwick's presence at the crime scene, then... Then what? Then nothing. Sorry if I was misleading you by making you think I had some important info. What was that? Does Snow know something he's not telling us? Or is it prosecutor's orders again? Who the hell is the prosecutor? Is it Edgeworth or something? So picture the scene. It's 8 a.m. and I'm at my apartment asleep. When I'm woken up by the sound of my door being kicked off its hinges. Knock knock, it's the police, come to arrest me for murder. No doubt that they're ransacking my apartment right now. So you were at your home when the murder happened? Of course I was. I just told you I was asleep, didn't I? Oh, really? Well, the witness claims to have seen you leaving the victim's house. Come on now, Renwick, tell us the truth. Were you really there? No, I damn well wasn't. Okay, whatever you say. I'm just going on what she said, that's all. What witness anyway? Who'd be loitering around at who knows what hour in the morning? Brisbane's next door neighbor. She saw you leave the house. Huh? You don't mean Miss Weaver? Oh, so now you know who the witness... Now you know the witness by name, eh? You ain't doing yourself any favors with this kind of knowledge, mate. Snow's in a pretty sour mood today. What's his problem? Brisbane's dead. That's the problem. Detective Smith, did you know Brisbane's neighbor? He used to stop by Roll's house from time to time and catch up on this and that. Miss Weaver, being your stereotypical nosy neighbor, we've struck up a conversation once or twice. So by now she would recognize you if she saw you again? Oh, I see where you're going with this. I don't know who she saw, but there's no way it could have been me. I guess we'll find out tomorrow in court just who this witness claims to have seen. So how exactly did you and Brisbane become friends? You mentioned it was during your first assignment? Yeah. And? And what? What else is there to tell? My first assignment involved him and that was how we met. What more do you want? How about telling him what exactly the assignment was? I'm sure Phoenix will understand once he catches on. Fine. Any objections from you? Good. Well then. Just over 5 years ago, there was an incident during a court trial. The prosecutor lashed out and seriously wounded the defendant. Wait a minute. This incident sounds familiar. Are you talking about the DT2 case? I was getting there. Now you've ruined the story. But yeah, the prosecutor injured Brisbane after being found out by the defense. Albeit not technically a homicide, the police still needed to issue an official investigation. Namely, to gain an understanding of the situation and prolong the prosecutor's sentence. And yours truly was the one who carried out that investigation. With a little help from me, too. You, Detective Snow? Renwick was only a Boy Scout at the time. I was showing him the ropes. By Boy Scout, he means rookie, by the way. Yeah, thanks for clearing that up for me. I couldn't have asked for a better partner. Oh, you are too kind. I have never felt so honored. You are a kind person. I guess Snow can't be bothered to mask his sarcasm today. Getting back on topic, you say you investigated Brisbane's assault? So how exactly did you meet him? Paid him a visit in the hospital. Or a bomb site. Hard to tell due to the fact that he'd torn the ward to pieces. You might say that I witnessed the moment he became the Brisbane you know now. I see. Anything else you'd care to share about that incident? Come on. No, nothing else. That was a strange reaction. It seemed as though he wanted to say something else, but decided against it. So, is Renwick more helpful now that I'm here? I'd say so. Thanks, Detective. All that's left now is to ask him about his attorney. You've come this far, mate. Think you have what it takes to be his defense? To be honest, I still don't entirely trust the guy. He's had a certain air about him from the start. He always came across to me as somebody with the weight of the world on his shoulders. Like there's a lot of troubling thoughts on his mind that he'd rather keep to himself. But I feel I owe it to Brisbane to investigate his murder and find his killer. And if this is the way I have to do it, then so be it. Then again, there's still the matter of having to give Smith my utmost trust and belief. I have no choice but to believe that he is innocent. But is that what I really think? What should I listen to? My principles or my instincts? Have you had any luck with a lawyer yet, Detective? If you're going to say it, just say it. Huh? You want to defend me, don't you? Well, it's not really a matter of want. You and Robert came here to grill me for information privy to those who are involved with the case. Obviously, you're going to defend me after what you've just heard. Besides, you've already gazed upon the crime scene. You've got me there. Okay, first of all, I appreciate a point-blank response to this question. And I'm dreading the answer. Did you really kill Brisbane? No. No psyche locks? I guess he is telling me the truth. I see. Thanks for being honest with me, Detective. Don't call me Detective. Just call me Renwick. Okay then, Renwick. I guess there's only one more question I have for you. Am I to be your lawyer? Sure. Because why the hell not? So there you go. You're in. You're my lawyer. Grats. Now get out. Awesome. You're in business now. It's up to you to track down Brisbane's killer and give him what's coming to him. Hey! Yes? Do you remember? 10 seconds ago when I said get out to you? That was your cue to leave. Renwick will be Renwick. Come on, mate. Let's get out of here. I'm defending you, you asshole. Okay. What the hell am I... Is that Storm? And so I agreed to be Detective Smith's, Renwick's lawyer. Although I don't exactly trust him, he did look me in the eye and say he wasn't to blame. No psyche locks appeared either, which is always a plus. After we left the detention center, Detective Snow headed back to the precinct to examine evidence. With his permission, I headed back to the crime scene, Brisbane's house. I wanted to see if I could find any more evidence to explain why Renwick was arrested. Seeing as how there seemed to be a strange absence of anything to pin him for the murder. Oh, it's raining. Just my luck. It had to start raining as soon as I left the detention center. Oh, well, at least I'm here now. The fuck? That sounded like a gate closing. It sounded nearby, too. There's somebody around. The front gate to Brisbane's house. It's not locked. Could this be the gate that I just heard close? I guess it could have been the wind that slammed it shut, but who opened it? In any case, I'd better get in before I really get soaked through. That's Brisbane's house. And what a house at that. How do you even afford one that big? I mean, he only prosecuted for 3 cases. He must have had a side job or 2 going on. He has a fucking metal eye. But he didn't sell it, so I guess... I don't know. Wish I had the time for one so I could afford better living conditions like prosecutors. Such is the life of a defense attorney. Now then, I need to look for a reason as to why Smith was the one who was arrested. He claims to have been asleep at his own place the entire night and morning. So why did that witness see him leaving the house? Something is not right here. There are blood stains on the side of this cupboard. The one on the counter looks like a handprint, as if somebody was leaning against it. We already know that, though. The green jacket belonging to Brisbane. It's draped over the arm of the couch. Coffee table at which Brisbane collapsed after dialing 911. A wireless telephone sits on the coffee table. There's blood on 2 of the number keys, 9 and 1. So Brisbane called for his own ambulance before passing away. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Damn it. Oh. I can't even look at the glass anymore. A short trail of blood leads from the... Yeah. But something about these bloody handprints seems off. I can't put my finger on why, though. Potted cactus that once stood on the counter has been knocked to the floor. The little blue vase that held it is no more. For some weird reason, it feels appropriate for Brisbane to have owned a cactus. Fragments and glass are scattered all across the floor. They were supposedly drinking glasses that were knocked off the coffee table during the fight. Hey, there's a notepad here on the table. I don't recall seeing it before. The strange wire is here next to it, too. Not under the couch where it used to be. What does this notepad say, I wonder? Let me read it! Roll Brisbane, number 8, garrote wire found. Card piece, not found. Another possible B victim would be the 8th. I can't read that. What's this? Is somebody else looking into what happened here, too? This checklist at the top. Garrote wire found. Card piece, blank. Seems as though somebody's scouring this place for those 2 specific items. Looks like they found the wire at least, but card piece? What are they talking about? They also mentioned something about Brisbane being another possible B victim? I better make note of this page just in case it turns out to be important. There's someone upstairs. Whoever this notepad belongs to, I imagine, still looking around for this card piece mentioned. Better sneak upstairs and find out who else is here. But first, another possible B victim would be the 8th. Since the 3rd, there have been no more card pieces. The garrote wire is the only proof I have of B being behind these killings. Okay. This seems to be the room that the sound came from. Funny. I don't see anyone around. Hold it right there. Huh? Take it easy, hombre. I should warn you that I'm strapped. I could put a bullet through your back if you so much as blink funny. So God help you if you got a lazy eye. That was Australian, my bad. Who's there? Realize the 5-0 ain't round this joint no more, right? So what's your game, boss? Oh, this crime ain't got... This crime scene, oh my God. So what's your game, boss? The crime scene ain't no place for a sister like you. That over-the-top detective slang. I know who that is. Terry Grayson? Is that you? Hey, shoot. Oh, shoot. Just as I was in the zone. And you're the mouthpiece from the hotel. Terry Grayson. An ex-Interpol agent turned independent investigator. And not exactly a legitimate one at that. Hence his tendency to snoop around areas he has no authority to be in. And whenever he's around, there's no doubt that something's afoot. Or is it a hand? So what brings you to yet another crime scene, Grayson? You're developing a nasty habit of following me around, sister. Not that it's any of your business, but this particular case is relevant to my interest. It is? Listen, I got no beef with you or the coppers or messing up your investigation, so chill out. I'm just stopping by to check some things out. No harm done, right? Well, if you keep sneaking around, it's naturally going to draw suspicion. What exactly are you checking out? Does the notepad downstairs explain everything? So you read the pad, huh? That's inconsiderate to mess with other people's property. Look who's talking. Okay, boss, cough it up. How much have you read? Well, it mentioned Earl Brisbane being the 8th victim of something or someone. It also said that you were looking for 2 certain items. A garrote wire and what you called a card piece. Mm-hmm. Now you know why I'm in this joint. The next question is probably, what does this case have to do with you, Terry? Well, I'll tell you, boss. The same reason I involved myself with Stan Niff's murder. What are you talking about? Are you saying there's more to this murder than we know? Might be implying some of the sort, yes. This Brisbane goon, his death is part of the bigger picture. This I know, but all I'm looking for is proof. And that's where the garrote wire and card piece come in. The wire, namely, is just the one consistent object since the card piece stopped appearing. What's this guy talking about? Let's see if I can get away with a little pressing. About what I read in the notepad. Tell me more about this B you mentioned. B? You wrote in your notepad that Brisbane might have been the 8th B victim. Oh yeah, I might have abbreviated his name for the sake of shorthand. Who exactly is B? That's not something I'm ready to discuss with the likes of you. But this is important. Listen, boss, you gotta realize, this is my case your big schnozzle is stuck in. When you bozos have uncovered more in court tomorrow, and when my suspicions are confirmed, then maybe we'll talk turkey. But for now, I'm out of here. Wait, what about... Oh, for the love of... How does he do that? Ninja. Now's not the time to be all secretive, Grayson. Perhaps if I reported you to the police, you'll be more willing to tell them what you know. If the police actually manage to track him down, that is. I should seek out Detective Snow and inform him anyway. Hey, buddy. Jerry Neeson? Remind me, who's he again? The fake detective from the NIF murder? You know, he showed up on the night of the crime to arrest the maid, and then delivered her to the police station. Everyone at the hotel thought he was the lead detective instead of you. Aw, Terry Grayson, that guy, yes. Impressive. You even miraculously remembered his name, too. So you saw you sniffing around this case as well? Any idea on why that might be? Nope, not a clue. But you have to wonder just what it is about these cases that keeps drawing him in. First the NIF murder at that Marble Flower Hotel, now Brisbane's murder. Who the hell is he and what is he after? I don't know who... That voice. I just gave that whoever this is gibberish voice. I don't know. That's right, mate. Who wants to know? Oh my god! I am Miles Edgeworth. I will be taking the place of Edgeworth? Right. I should have known you'd be here too. I don't know what voice to give him. I'm struggling. Hi. Anyone gonna tell me what's going on? As I was just about to say, I will be taking the place of the acting prosecution. And right now I require a private conversation with the defense. So, detective, if you would. If I would? What's that supposed to mean? Go the fuck away. Oh, that's right. Shove off, Snow. We don't need you anymore. Just like everyone else. Well, I was heading off anyway. I'll see you in court tomorrow, I guess. Edgeworth. I shouldn't really be surprised that you'd show up at a time like this. Talk about deja vu. Actually, no. This is like deja vu of a deja vu. What are you doing here, Edgeworth? Aren't you supposed to be abroad? I suppose that's your way of greeting an old friend? If you must know, I was in Europe for a while. I came back to this country about a month ago on business, you might say. And I'm assuming business is the reason you're here too? Ah, you always were a smart one, right? I know Edgeworth well enough to know when he's patronizing me. Yes, I'm taking on the role of prosecutor for the assault of Brisbane. However, that was only one of two reasons I took the case. What was the other reason? That one is slightly more difficult to explain. This morning, I received a troubling phone call. Needless to say, the caller certainly got my attention. Troubling phone call? I hope the caller wasn't who I think it was. Tell me more about the phone call you received. Yes, quite curious. My cell phone rang this morning and a peculiar-sounding man spoke, with a very brash, cavalier attitude to boot. Oh no, it was him. What did he say to you? He said that the latest case needed a prosecutor and that I had been selected. He also said that the chief knew certain details about the crime itself. He said that the chief of police knew about the crime. Any ideas as to why? That's what I'm here to find out. So here I am. Who else should be here on this case but Phoenix Wright? You're gonna laugh at this, but I might have been called by the exact same guy myself. Is that so? I was called this morning by a strange man too. He gave me the address of a crime scene under investigation. And it was there that I found out about the victim. This is most troubling. That man, was this what he was planning? Is this what he wanted to happen? For you and me to take this case as prosecution and defense? Oh, wait, are you saying that he brought us both together on this case deliberately? I'm positive. Not even awfully coincidental would explain this situation. So we were both persuaded by the unknown caller into becoming the lawyers for this case. And he told Edgeworth that the chief of police knows about what happened to Brisbane. In that case, I ought to try and speak to Chief Frood myself. Is there anything you can tell me about this, Edgeworth? Sorry, Wright. I don't think there's something, and that's something I can help with. Do you really think we were both lured to this case by this mysterious caller? I just knew other reason for him to contacted the both of us. So this guy wants me to defend and you to prosecute for this case for some odd reason? It seems that way. Is it just me, or has this been the way major cases of mine have been playing out in recent years? I can't help but notice some sort of pattern here. And this mystery caller, consciously or not, is continuing the trend. Sorry, I'm trying to get his voice right. I recorded Ace Attorney Trilogy. I recorded it with my friend, and I was doing Edgeworth's voice, and I don't know what happened to it. I've just forgotten how to do his voice. I could look at a voice recording real quick, just to see. Well, I don't know if I have the recordings anymore, actually. I'll check. What was I doing? If the mysterious caller was right about the chief, then how would he know so much about the crime? Like I said earlier, that's what I'm here to find out. I've been trying to arrange an audience with the chief, to no avail. How come? He's not in his office, that's why. Nobody in the precinct has seen hide nor hair of him all morning. Maybe in order to avoid any confrontation about the crime? Well, I don't know about that. But he must have known my suspicions would be aroused by the mysterious caller. That is, if he has anything to do with it. So maybe Frood knows something about the identity of this caller. I should definitely shoot him the question when I next see him. Card. Oh, you can't help me with that? Okay. Nope. What about the jacket? Nah. What about Brisbane? I couldn't help but notice that you refer to Brisbane as simply Brisbane. And why would that strike you as odd? Referring to somebody by their surname alone without a title preceding it implies that you know the person, especially in your case. In other words, it seems as though you knew Brisbane on some level. So what if I did? Why would that be of any concern to you? It's not very hard to figure out the reason as to how you would be familiar with Brisbane. Alright, I'll bite. Why would you assume that I know Brisbane? You have the same mentor. Because you both had something in common. You were both tutored by the same person, Manfred von Karma. In other words, your paths must have crossed at some point in the past. Impressive. It's true, Francisca and I weren't the only prosecutors under von Karma's tutelage. These past few years, you may have thought us as von Karma's prized pupils. Not so. 4 years ago, we took on a new student, a passionate young man in whom von Karma saw potential. You might have said that he was his special project. Special project? There's something very unsettling about that choice of words. I've heard a great deal about Brisbane over the past few years, about the effect von Karma had on him. Yet another argument to add to the plethora of reasons to despise that man. So what happened? How did von Karma become interested in tutoring someone like Brisbane? One time, 4 years ago, he paid a visit to the local law academy. He was to give us a lecture on prosecuting to the students. Knowing von Karma's stance on the law, it was understandable that someone would call him out. Somebody who openly objected to his techniques and so-called understanding of the law. And that was when another person stood up and defended von Karma. Brisbane. He and the other person had a heated argument over the drivel von Karma was spewing, and that was when it happened. What happened? His anger had gone the better of him, and in the heat of the moment, he lashed out. How old was this guy to have actually done such a thing? And in a law academy of all places. Ah, but you forget. Brisbane had only just recently become a very embittered individual. That, along with how he fought in favor of his beliefs, is what drew von Karma to him in the first place. Someone who shared his views on law and wasn't afraid to show a little moxie to defend them. What better student could he have asked for? So what was Brisbane taught by his beloved mentor? At first, he was told that he'd channel his anger into his prosecuting, imitating von Karma's own method of using intimidation to get his way in court. Yeah, I experienced those methods firsthand. But von Karma had something else in mind. His reasoning was that if Brisbane became a being of pure, continuous rage, he would become the greatest prosecutor of all. She would continually goad him, prodding and provoking him to keep the anger fresh and flowing. Like conditioning an angry dog by repeatedly poking it with a sharp stick. Precisely. What's more, Von Karma told Brisbane that if he wanted to control his anger, he'd have to win cases. I remember Detective Snow telling me this before. I never knew Von Karma was this much of a monster, to exploit Brisbane's unstable emotions, in order to create an unstoppable prosecutor of his own twisted ideals. So essentially, Brisbane was like a Frankenstein's monster to Von Karma. At least now I guess he's found some sort of tragic peace. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Listen, Riot. What is it? In the past, it's no question that you considered me the ruthless man in court. The prosecutor would do anything to get a guilty verdict. Not to mention all the rumors and hyperbole that had dubbed me the demon prosecutor. Such a mark of dishonor it was that frankly I found it difficult to continue the prosecutor's path. I fear my lifelong disdain towards criminals has clouded my judgment, or lack thereof. But in the past 2 months, I feel that I've learned so much in a short span of time. That the truth is what we, in the legal profession, value the most when it comes to justice. And that seeking the truth is as valid as for prosecutors as it is for defense attorneys. In some cases, maybe even more so. My point is, I no longer wish for you to see me as your enemy in court, no matter how challenging or difficult I may prove to be. I've never thought of you as anything but a friend, Edgeworth. Besides, I think that business 2 months ago proved to me the kind of person you really are. Oh, you're talking about that case. I see. I'm sure Brisbane would have been the same had he not been manipulated so much by Von Karma. Would have? You said it again. Huh? Did you say something? Perhaps. Right, there's something I've been meaning to bring up during our talk. I thought against it at first, but I feel I have to mention it to make sure I'm not mistaken. And what's that? Throughout our chat, you would always refer to Brisbane in the past tense. Why is that? Well, why do you think? Because he's dead, of course. Dead? Right, what on earth are you talking about? What do you mean? But Brisbane was... preposterous. I hope you aren't implying what I think you are. Implying what? What are you talking about? I guess you don't know. Very well, I might as well tell you for your benefit. To save you from looking like a complete fool in court tomorrow. Tell me what, Edgeworth? Brisbane is not dead. Come again? He wasn't murdered at all, you moron. What? He wasn't killed, but you were saying that he was... At no point in our conversation did I explicitly state that Brisbane was murdered. I said he was assaulted. We're looking into a battery case, not a homicide. Although it is very likely that it may have been attempted murder. Brisbane, he's alive. It's a good thing I kept hold of this extra copy of Brisbane's injury report. After your faux pas, it's obvious that you didn't receive one, so here. So it's this in place of an autopsy report. But if Brisbane's alive, then where is he? The paramedics responded to an ambulance call at approximately 5:30 a.m. Upon discovering that he was still breathing, he was admitted to the city hospital. I can't recall the ward number, but that's where he is. The city hospital. Thanks, Edgeworth. You're not going to see him now, surely. What do you think? Of course I am. In that case, I wish you every success in trying to get a comatose man to talk. Comatose? The injuries and blood loss he sustained was severe enough to render him so. In the middle of his telephone call to the emergency department, that was when he collapsed, and he has yet to awaken. All the same, I think I'd better go over and see him. Predictable to the end, aren't you? Very well, I'll call the hospital and tell them to expect you. Security around Brisbane is tight, but they'll wave you through. Thanks, Edgeworth. See you tomorrow, in court. I still couldn't believe what I had just heard. By an outrageous miracle, Brisbane had survived his injuries. Thank God! I'm actually really relieved. I don't know why. I should hate him. Like, he's pretty insufferable, but I don't know, I like him. However, he had fallen into a coma as a result. But that didn't stop me from heading on over to the hospital and seeing for myself. There he is. Holy shit! Oh my God. He got really fucked up. The way he looks, he shouldn't medically be alive. It feels somehow more upsetting to know that he is still alive, suffering from his injuries. And as for his coma, when will he wake up? Will he ever wake up for that matter? The thought just occurred to me. Did Brisbane see his assailant's face before passing out? Does he know all along what's happening here? Does he know why? And just as importantly, who? Until he regains consciousness, it's the duty of the police and the court to find out the truth. Brisbane, I know we don't agree on a lot of things, but I've never been one to let anybody suffer because of another human being. And I'm not letting that person get away to run loose and cause more unchecked grief. I'll find out whoever did this to you and uncover the truth. My name isn't Phoenix Wright. To be continued. And we will continue this next time.